rode one of these for the very first time on the way down here.
Oh, nice.
I figured out the door. These are pretty cool. I gotta get one.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
Keep a logbook, huh?
I sure do. So I am a full self-driving beta tester. I log every trip.
Really?
To see, how the vehicle performs. Yeah, this is a bit different than a normal Tesla.
Oh, okay.
As a beta tester, I have access to their complete AI that can do the city streets as well as the highway.
Wow. Yeah, this is a little more complex than the guy who had the base model, standard model.
Well, this is in fact the base model. I just have the full software. It's kind of like if you're familiar with downloading a movie or a video game or something, and you can get updates like on an iPhone and such, or any smartphone these days. These things are basically computers on wheels. As of last October, I've been a beta tester for the City Street software that can see quite a bit more than the highway version.
That is intense.
Right? It's all vision too. It's all cameras. No extra sensors, no LiDAR, radar, or any other DAR.
Just a little more complex, algorithms.
Exactly.
I thought it was pretty impressive that you post a generic SUV or van or sedan as the other vehicles in traffic.
Yep. On this will depict people, cyclists, dogs. You can see the pedestrians it's picking up that are around here.
Yeah.
It's actually throwing a false positive on that fire hydrant, thinking it's a person.
Oh.
Now look at this classic human in front of us. It's making my car impatient. That's kind of funny. So hopefully it doesn't do any more than it's doing now. See, what is... You better stop. It's projecting a line to go around the car in front of us, which is not accurate.
Actually, the software is pissed off.
That's what it seems like. He's like, this little Chevy just swerved over. It's like, I'm going to take this guy. I won't let it, of course. I'm hoping it just kind of chills. There's a red light, so it knows it can't really do anything, and it'll correct itself once we get moving. Previous software builds, it would inch up all the way to the quarter panel if I let it. And
oh, wow.
So I was like, nope, that's not okay. That's why I have this little camera button to the top right. I can report back to Tesla that it's doing something weird.
Yeah.
In fact,
wow, that's pretty cool.
Once this little series of events is over, I'm going to report all this back to them because it's basically a screen grab of everything going on. So here we go. You can hear the brake disengaging.
Yeah.
Come on, straighten out, straighten out, straighten out. Correct. There we go. Safe but sloppy. Stay in your lane. Humans can't color in the lines.
I'll report you.
For real. They must have not been good at coloring in the lines when they were a kid. Oh, I haven't looked at my gathered data quite enough to tell for sure, but it seems like it's actually been performing better at night, which is a little surprising, and that's definitely a speculative observation at this point, but it seems that it might just be that most of my trips have been at night because of just when I've been able to work, but it does quite well, surprisingly well, even given the lack of photons being able to enter the camera. I wish I had access to that level of the information. That'd be awesome. But I'm just a little old beta tester. The engineering that these AI guys do at Tesla is fantastic. Mind-blowing. Really want to melt your brain, just look up the AI Day presentation on YouTube on Tesla's channel. It's 3 hours of, oh my gosh. Yeah, this little section up here is always interesting because it goes from a 2-lane to a single merge. And not in a very well articulated way with lane lines and markings and such. And of course you add in all the humans too that want to get in at the last minute.
No shortage of those.
Meanwhile, my car's over here cruising just a little bit above the speed limit, trying to be safe, and here comes human. Right on the tee. Everybody's racing in. I gotta get over here. Perpetually running behind everybody at all times.
I see a spot.
It always uses the turn signal here too, which is pretty funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like, just in case you didn't know, I'm getting over.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, we'll follow that path. I'll just take
basically
over.
It dead ends into a restaurant.
Ah. Makes sense.
Yeah, twigs.
So what's funny there is, like, that's less the car's fault and more of a maps issue. You need to figure out what's going on with that map. Come on, little Nissan. Go. Go. My car's going to wait for you. Get out of here.
You don't know what you're dealing with here.
Yeah.
I'd go, but I can't.
Active AI. Yeah, these roads are rough. It's doing well. Now, will it be able to do this little corner? I mean, it should. This pathway is relatively simple. We have pedestrians on the left. It might freak it out a little bit. Nope. Like a boss.
Bingo.
Now, I wonder if I can alternate our course manually with a waypoint. And then I'll just take over. Boom, there we go. Cool. Because then I can just take over at that left turn instead of letting it go and get stuck at a dead end. Waypoints for the win. It does have the ability to make the decision to go over the double yellows to get around an obstacle, like a car that's like stopped with their hazard lights on. And it's very careful about doing it just in case there's oncoming traffic.
Yeah.
Come on. There you go.
This is pretty slick.
Yeah, and I'd say we pretty much, like if this was like a robo taxi, I mean, it could drop you here and you'd go to the restaurant. Like that's another successful trip for the day. So far today, I've had 0 failures.
Perfect. Hey, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. Hope you have a good rest of your night.
This is our second Tesla Uber.
Awesome. You been in one that can self-drive yet?
No.
Well, if you guys want, we can see if this can do the whole trip. I'm a full self-driving beta tester.
Oh, you are?
So,
Serious?
yeah, I have the full AI. Whoop, it wasn't supposed to spin. There
Oh
we go.
my gosh, that's insane.
You can see everything it can see through just its cameras. It has the capability of navigating city streets as well as the highway. As long as
oh my God.
it doesn't look like we have anything too difficult. There it goes. And here we go.
Elon could take us home.
Pretty much. With enough people like me helping test the system, we get to a point to where you could take your car to the restaurant and send it home to go park, or have it come pick you up from the bar,
That would be convenient.
or go out and make you money while you're sleeping or doing some other work. Hey, go drive people around. Aspirationally. When that'll actually come is a bit of a question mark, but
Yes, it might be
I
a
don't
bit of
think
time.
it's that far away though.
so I don't think it's as far as a lot of people think. The technology could be ready in a couple of years. The regulation could take a bit longer.
Yeah, exactly.
The politics of everything. With this system, I can take over just like disengaging cruise control by tapping the brake or flicking the stock, so it's very quick. Oh, it's kind of seeing that red light. Or the sharp corner. It's assessing. Safety first. And this truck's coming in. Here we go. There we are. As we transition to the highway, you'll see it revert back to the way Teslas normally look with the highway code. There it is. So, still quite good, but a bit slower to execute because it requires me to kind of get some weight to the wheel for it to make lane changes, which you can see with this scenario, don't have a lot of time to get over.
That's right.
So I'm looking forward to when we finally get the same code throughout the entire system. But that was pretty good. We've got to jump over 2 more lanes though, otherwise we'll get stuck on the 5 north. Very nice.
So does it send data back to the mothership automatically?
It's I'm not exactly sure how often it's sending back. I know anytime that I disengage with like a regular disengagement, like tapping my brake like that, that information goes back. Or if I hit this little camera button, that sends it back with a priority, meaning that if I hit that, the car did something outsizedly bad, or like something extra weird, like it might have wanted to run a red light or something. You know, very rare things, but you know the reason beta testers are vetted and expected to take over is because it's not perfect. It could be that 1 in 100 or 1 in 1,000 chance that it goes, I'm gonna go here and I shouldn't. And you can also feel how the highway version's a little bit less finessed. It's like lane change. Hold on.
My son and I just had this debate or discussion, what, 2 days ago? Do you think if they just released it, like if all cars had the current system, do you think, even though it's not perfect now, do you think the world will be a safer place as far as driving goes?
I would say yes.
Are we there yet? Yeah.
I mean, so far the highway.
Will happen, and it could possibly
Yeah, but
be
would it be
Tesla's fault.
worse?
But there's so many accidents with humans, like on total.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So a lot of the little errors that I'm seeing in the system, it's gonna execute a right on red, which is good as long as it stays and commits. Perfect. So I gotta make sure I pay attention to those points.
Right.
But yeah, most of the disengagements that I'm experiencing are what I classify personally as simple, meaning, you know, non-life threatening, things that would be annoying, but not really a threat to your safety. And I haven't had a critical disengagement, like a safety-related disengagement, in about a month and a half,
Okay.
roughly, which is a really good sign. And it's like, currently the safety data is pretty impressive for the highway build of the autopilot. So the portion we were just on with the 8, that statistic is kind of mind-blowing. So like the average accident, I believe, is rated at 1 in every 450 or 470,000 miles, roughly, with the NHTSA. And Tesla's quarterly data is showing an average that there's an accident one time in every 4.2 or 4.4 million miles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, nearly a factor of 10 times less likely to crash on the highway, which is arguably where the more deadly, dangerous accidents would happen, at higher speeds. And I fully agree to your hypothesis that if all of the Teslas had this system, or if you could make it to where all of the cars had this exact system, the safety factor, I think, would go up by a large margin.
Right.
Because even though it's not perfect, humans are far worse.
Right.
Yeah.
We do not set a very high bar.
No.
I mean, I've had so many close calls where I'm dodging someone who's either not paying attention or is
Well, that's
impatient.
it. Yeah, they're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Right. They're distracted.
And maybe the incidents that the Teslas were in, it was human error anyways.
Yeah, most of the time it is. Even with the accidents that, actually pretty much all of the accidents on the highway autopilot, it's driver fault, driver error. Especially because a lot of Tesla owners that have had this system for a long time, they get complacent and over-trusting and do things they shouldn't, like pull out a book or get on their phone or, fill in the blank. People have seen all kinds of crazy things. Minus the total idiots, and I mean exactly what I'm saying here, that decide to jump in the other seat to try to get clicks on a channel or something. And they're not even in the driver's seat. Like,
Oh, wow.
there's been some cases of that, because you're putting everyone in danger for what? Popularity? For views?
Yeah.
And it puts a lot of negative attention on Tesla's system, though it's not the system's fault.
Yeah.
And with us, I mean, anytime we do anything, like I can show you here at the base of the screen, when I engage, it says, keep your hands on the wheel, be prepared to take over at all times. And anyone who gets a Tesla with autopilot signs electronic waivers that we're responsible, we're in control, we're letting the car do what it does. But yeah, soapbox aside, I do think it'd be a lot safer if all the cars had this system. And it's only going to get better. Now that there's over 100,000 of us beta testers, the data that they're getting is like going through the roof.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Oh, yeah.
So those engineers they're not getting any sleep. Oh man.
That's exciting technology for sure.
It is. I just hope that we continue to keep our clean record. On the beta testing side of things, we are 0 accidents. We're clean record. All the testers have been really good about intervening when they need to. It sees these cars kind of coming over the white line, so it's judging the distance and calculating whether or not to go over the double yellows. So this is where the city street side has a lot more authority to act compared to the highway. It can make those moves if there was a cyclist or pedestrian or a car in front of us with the hazard lights on. If it was clear, it makes the decision to go over the yellows to go around it. Whereas the highway portion is basically on rails. They can't do that. Little message down there saying creeping forward, checking for visibility. It knows how to yield better than most people do, which sometimes results in people skipping me when it comes to a four-way. See, that was the car reacting.
Yeah.
See that?
That was a car?
Yep, that was all the car. Door opened, person getting out, and Tesla went, whoa!
Ah, that was good.
I loved your reactions. Like, whoa, it saw that. That's great. Yeah, if I take over, you saw what happens. It chimes and everything turns gray. So, I'm not the one doing this.
I work at a mine, and we have tried to implement autonomous haulage systems on our trucks, and they're a very stupid system. There's no...
Very simple.
If it detects something, truck stops.
Oh, yeah.
It's
That's
something
it.
bad. Okay, I'm stopping. It doesn't. It's not
have
smart
the-
enough to.
Yeah, because if you
Too big of a machine, though, maybe.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah, there'd be some extra parameters there, but if you solve computer vision and you put, 10 to 16 cameras around that thing with a really good AI inference chip, it would be able to do it.
yeah.
It's just a difficult problem to solve.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing that Elon has said to kind of combat you said it'd be ready like yesteryear. And he's like, yeah, until we realized that we had to solve a real world AI problem. You get to a bunch of like glass ceilings or like you think you're there and then you hit a block and you realize, nope. And you often learn how dumb you are, is the way he would put it. That there's a lot more to this than a lot of people think.
Yeah.
All the unexpected thing she didn't.
Yeah, the unknown unknowns.
Yeah.
You can't really predict those things. What are you doing? Why are
It'd
you
be
going so
easier
wide here?
if all
There
of
we
them
go.
were autonomous.
Yeah.
Then
Oh
they
yeah.
have to deal with humans, which is
What's going on? You got this? You're kind of freaking out. It's good. It's like, oh, this is weird. But yeah, I agree. I think that when, especially if the systems can communicate with one another, wow, this is great. All this construction, there's no way it's going to get through this. I might be able to reroute us though. Whoa. Okay, taking over. Sorry. We had scooters plus construction.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, it
fair.
definitely wasn't going to hit anything, but some
Yeah,
aggressive
yeah.
braking
No,
there.
no.
So that's an edge case that,
But you might hit the brakes like that if your scooters are coming out of nowhere.
yeah, I actually had a kid almost run right into me down Garnett because he was coming down a hill on a scooter full speed,
Oh man.
and he like slid out right in front of me, and I had to jump to the other lane. I was like, you're lucky I was paying attention. That would have ended your life. Those scooters are the worst idea in the world to me.
got the F1 steering wheel.
Oh yeah, there you go. I got yoked. After getting to drive the new Model S and seeing the yoke in person, I fell in love with it. So the second I found out that I could change mine, I jumped on it. Yep. I've been yoked since December. It's really, to me, it heightens the comfort and visibility of the ride and the kind of futuristic feeling of it all. Whenever we drive my wife's Tesla, it feels so weird because she has the standard wheel still. And I'm like, man, your car is ancient. She looks at me like, it's newer than yours. I'm like, you're right.
Thanks, that was
Okay.
cool.
Oh yeah, no problem. Just hold the top button on the handle and push the door at the same time. You guys have a great evening.
Yeah, thanks, bye.
Thank you. Bye.